The hospital bustled with life, filled with the sound of beeping machines and the soft chatter of nurses moving quickly through the corridors. Bright lights shone from the ceiling, illuminating the walls painted in calming shades of blue and green. The scent of antiseptic mixed with faint floral notes from the waiting room made the place feel both sterile and somewhat comforting. In this busy environment, the staff worked tirelessly, each person playing a vital role in keeping everything running smoothly. Nurses buzzed around, tending to patients with care and efficiency, their uniforms crisp and clean. Doctors consulted over charts in hurried whispers while other workers tended to paperwork at desks cluttered with forms. Yet amidst this busy setting was a sense of camaraderie among the staff. They shared jokes during brief moments when patients weren't waiting for aid. It was a typical day, until one unexpected moment changed everything. As the hospital staff moved about their duties, they encountered a man cradling a baby in his arms. Instantly, their faces lit up with expressions that seemed more amused than compassionate. They traded glances and chuckles, whispering jokes about his clumsiness while he tried to adjust the baby's blanket more securely around her. This playful teasing added noise to the already lively atmosphere but masked an underlying lack of understanding. The man stood there awkwardly, obvious discomfort flickering across his face as he simply tried to be a caring parent in a challenging situation. Little did they know that just minutes later, everything would change, and they would soon learn that judging others can lead to surprising discoveries about who they really are. In the midst of the bustling hospital, a man stood out, though not for the right reasons. His name was Jake, and he clutched a small baby girl in his arms. With tousled hair and weary eyes, he appeared both protective and anxious. Jake's heart raced as he navigated the busy corridors, feeling vulnerable under the weight of stares and whispers from the staff. He adjusted the baby's blanket nervously, trying to keep her calm while battling his own apprehension. It was clear he was out of his element, yet his determination to care for her shone through. On the other hand, the hospital staff comprised a mix of personalities. Among them was Lisa, a cheerful nurse known for her bright smile and quick wit. Although she meant no harm, her tendency to joke around sometimes crossed a line. Next to her was Tom, a physician with a serious demeanor but a soft spot for humor. He often found himself joining in on playful banter with his colleagues. As they spotted Jake struggling with the baby, their laughter erupted like fireworks, loud enough to draw attention. They exchanged knowing looks and chuckles that betrayed their lack of empathy. While some staff members tried to be friendly, their teasing overshadowed any genuine concern they might have had. In that moment, Jake felt alone and misunderstood. Little did they know that beneath his nervous exterior lay stories of courage waiting to be revealed, a past that would soon change how they viewed him forever. As Jake walked further into the hospital, the laughter from the staff grew louder. He could feel their eyes on him as he adjusted the baby in his arms, trying to focus on her rather than the stares. Just then, Lisa, with her playful spirit, pointed at him and exclaimed, "Look, everyone! A dad in action! Is that how you hold a baby?" Her words were accompanied by a chorus of giggles from her colleagues. Jake felt his cheeks flush with heat. He had hoped for a moment of kindness, but instead, he found himself at the center of their jokes. He shifted uncomfortably, wishing he could disappear. "I'm just trying to keep her calm," he mumbled under his breath, but his voice was drowned out by the laughter. Tom couldn't resist joining in. "Careful there, buddy. You might drop her," he chimed in with a grin, clearly thinking he was being funny. The group erupted in another round of laughter, their faces bright with amusement at Jake's expense. Feeling a lump in his throat, Jake tried to maintain his composure. He held the baby tighter and whispered soothing words to her, hoping she wouldn't pick up on his anxiety. Inside, he felt crushed. They didn't know what he had been through or why he was there. All they saw was a man struggling with a baby, and that became the punchline of their jokes. Despite the mockery, Jake took a deep breath and forced a smile, determined not to let their insensitivity break his spirit. Little did they know that their laughter would soon turn to regret as they would learn the truth about him, a truth that would reveal much more than just a simple moment of parenting. As Jake stood in the hospital, his mind drifted back to a time far removed from this moment of mockery. Years ago, he had been a soldier, serving his country with unwavering dedication. He remembered the adrenaline rush as he and his fellow troops prepared for missions, their camaraderie forged in the heat of battle. Jake had always been the one to step up in difficult situations, often volunteering for the most dangerous tasks. One vivid memory flashed before him, a rescue operation during a particularly harrowing deployment. Under heavy fire, he had jumped into action, leading a team through hostile territory to save injured comrades. His bravery had earned him commendations, but what mattered most to him was helping others and ensuring their safe return home. After returning from service, Jake struggled with the transition to civilian life. The haunting memories of war lingered in his mind, but he found solace in the joys of fatherhood. The baby girl he held now was a precious reminder of hope and love amid his turbulent past. He cherished every moment with her, even if it meant facing judgment from those who didn't understand. As he stood there trying to be a good father, he couldn't help but feel that the laughter directed at him was an affront to everything he had fought for. They didn't see the man who had faced bullets and danger, they only saw an awkward dad struggling with a baby. Yet beneath that nervous exterior lay a heart filled with resilience and stories of courage waiting to be revealed, stories that would soon change everything in that hospital room. Just as the laughter continued to echo through the hospital, a senior nurse named Karen walked by, her sharp eyes catching the scene. She paused, noticing Jake struggling to comfort his baby while the other staff members chuckled. Having worked in the hospital for years, Karen had seen many parents come and go and recognized when someone was in distress. Curiosity piqued, she approached Jake with a warm smile and asked gently, "What's your little one's name?" As he stammered out a reply, she felt something familiar about him. The more he spoke, the more Karen's instincts kicked in. She recalled reading about a local hero who had saved lives during a recent crisis, a man who fit Jake's description perfectly. Determined to learn more, she gently probed further. "You look a bit familiar. Are you from around here?" When Jake mentioned the town and some details of his military service, her eyes widened in recognition. "Wait a minute. Are you Jake Thompson? The soldier who led that rescue mission last year?" The atmosphere shifted dramatically. Suddenly, the laughter faded as Karen's revelation struck like lightning. The other staff members fell silent, their expressions changing from amusement to disbelief and respect. They realized they had been mocking not just any man but a hero who had risked everything for others. With newfound understanding, Lisa and Tom exchanged concerned glances as they grasped the gravity of their insensitivity. Jake sensed the shift too. He looked up with surprise as they all gathered closer, their previous laughter replaced by genuine curiosity and admiration for his incredible story that was about to unfold. As the realization of Jake's identity sank in, the atmosphere in the hospital shifted dramatically. Lisa, Tom, and the other staff members stood awkwardly, their laughter replaced with a heavy sense of guilt. They exchanged uneasy glances, each processing what they had just learned about the man they had mocked. "Wow," Lisa finally spoke up, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't believe we were making jokes at his expense." Her eyes filled with remorse as she reflected on how thoughtless their behavior had been. "He's not just some guy struggling to hold his baby, he's a hero." Tom nodded, tension evident in his posture. It's easy to forget that people have lives and experiences beyond what we see in front of us. I've always admired veterans, but I never really thought about how they might feel in situations like this. Karen, having witnessed many moments of insensitivity in her career, chimed in with a firm tone. "This is a reminder that we must treat everyone with respect and empathy. We don't know what struggles they carry or what they've been through." As they looked over at Jake, who was now trying to calm his baby amidst the sudden shift in tone around him, they felt an obligation to make amends. It wasn't just about feeling guilty, it was an opportunity for growth. Determined to show their support, the staff members gathered closer around Jake. They approached him with genuine apologies and heartfelt curiosity about his story. Their reflections led them to acknowledge their own shortcomings and reinforce the importance of honoring veterans and understanding their sacrifices, a lesson that would linger long after this day. With the weight of their previous actions hanging in the air, Lisa stepped forward, her heart racing. She looked directly at Jake, who was still cradling his baby with a mix of confusion and caution. "Jake," she began softly, "I'm really sorry for what we did. We didn't know who you were or what you've been through. Tom joined her, nodding earnestly. Yeah, we were thoughtless and we should have shown more respect. Thank you for your service and everything you've done. His voice was sincere, filled with regret as he realized the impact of their jokes. Karen stood beside them, adding her voice to the apology. We all make mistakes, but it's important to learn from them. You're a hero in more ways than one, and I hope you can forgive us. Her tone was warm yet firm, emphasizing the importance of acknowledging their behavior. Jake looked up from his baby girl, sensing the sincerity in their words. The tension that had once clouded the room began to lift. He took a deep breath and managed a small smile. Thank you, he replied quietly, feeling a flicker of understanding begin to bridge the gap between him and the staff. As they continued to express their gratitude, Jake felt a warmth spreading through him, an unexpected connection forming in that moment. They asked about his experiences and shared stories of their own families, creating an atmosphere of genuine interest and respect. The once awkward encounter transformed into a heartwarming exchange that brought them all closer together. In that hospital room, laughter returned, not at Jake's expense but in celebration of shared humanity and newfound understanding. The heartfelt exchange between Jake and the hospital staff served as a powerful reminder of the importance of respect and support for veterans in every community. This incident highlighted how easily misunderstandings can arise when people lack knowledge about the sacrifices made by those who have served in the military. It illuminated the need for greater awareness and education surrounding veterans' experiences, allowing communities to foster empathy and understanding. By taking a moment to listen to Jake's story, the staff not only transformed their own perceptions but also demonstrated a crucial step in building respect for veterans everywhere. Communities can create environments where veterans feel valued by actively recognizing their contributions, celebrating their bravery, and supporting them in their transition back to civilian life. Simple gestures can go a long way, whether it's offering words of appreciation, creating dedicated programs that assist veterans, or encouraging community events that honor their service. The laughter that once mocked Jake shifted to genuine interest and respect, showing how quickly attitudes can change when people choose to engage sincerely with one another. In learning from this experience, the staff at the hospital realized that they could play a role in promoting kindness and understanding within their own community. They could advocate for fellow veterans who may feel isolated or misunderstood. As they left the hospital that day, each member was inspired to become ambassadors of empathy, ensuring that no veteran would ever feel dismissed or unappreciated again. In this way, Jake's story became not just his alone but a catalyst for broader change, a call to action for communities everywhere to stand up for those who have bravely served. In reflecting on the events that unfolded in the hospital, it's clear that kindness and understanding can change lives in profound ways. Jake's experience is a reminder that behind every face, there are untold stories, sacrifices, and challenges that we may never see. The laughter that once rang out in the hallways turned into lessons learned about compassion and respect for one another. As the hospital staff came to understand, a moment of consideration can lead to deeper connections. The simple act of listening and showing empathy not only transformed their perceptions of Jake but also sparked a desire to honor veterans in their community. It reinforced the notion that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their circumstances or background. We all have the power to create an atmosphere filled with kindness. This incident encourages us to reflect on our actions and think before we speak. By educating ourselves about others' experiences, we can foster acceptance and support among those around us. As we go about our daily lives, let us remember the importance of treating everyone with dignity and respect. Each small gesture can ripple outwards, affecting more people than we may realize. In doing so, we become champions of understanding, breaking down barriers and building bridges in our communities. Let Jake's story inspire us all to act with care and compassion towards others, especially those who serve and protect us. Understanding is the first step towards making a kinder world, and it starts with each one of us taking the time to appreciate the heroic journeys that others have undertaken.